6 of So Crafty with Ashley and Lisa. I'm Ashley.
I'm Lisa.
And it is the 5th of December. So it's prime knitting and gift making season.
It is.
So.
And we had snow. We had snow overnight. Like in town, and that sounds dumb to say. We live in a little village, but you know, there's probably 2 to 3 inches here, but at my house there's probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 and blowing.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, we own businesses, and so we were down here with the plow truck. The plow truck broke, had to run home. My husband's a welder, so he was, it's just, I almost took pictures and be like, this is what owning a small business is like, But, we could pay people to do it, but no. But it's all good. I am plowed out, so I will be open tomorrow, normal hours. I have a show in Lancaster this weekend. So I'll be heading, it's actually at my aunt's church. It's the Wesleyan Church, if anybody's watching. Well, you probably won't even see this till afterwards.
So yeah, probably won't come out till Monday.
Right. So anyhow, I will be in Lancaster. I do it every year. I have a friend that lives down around Reading, so I go to her house. She goes with me and helps me set up, and I see my aunt and my cousin sometimes. And then I will drive home Saturday afternoon, and then we will go to the Steelers game on Sunday.
It's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be, well, I think it's supposed to be in the 40s. And down in Pittsburgh, it's not nearly as cold as it is here. When you're in the city, with vehicles and buildings and things, it's not like standing in a field in the country. So
now what day, so you won't be here for the Makers, or no, that's next
weekend. The 14th then is the Makers Market here in the parking lot. Hopefully, I'd really like it to be outdoors, but if it's 10 degrees below zero and 16 inches of snow, I'm not going to make anybody be outside. So I will do like I kind of did for Small Business Saturday. We would just kind of set up in the rooms, and
that was really nice. You had a really good turnout when I was here.
Now, some of my vendors said they thought there were a lot less people than normal, but I was pleased. We had a decent turnout. I think all businesses are slow right now.
I think so.
I think it is. It's really hard. Times are tough. Yeah. I understand. I'm a luxury. And if you're paying for groceries and gas and oil, heating fuel, I'm a luxury. So we'll be all right though. I have tons of inventory, so that's not an issue. And I'm really my only employee. It's kind of a one-man show here. So, it'll be fine. Yeah. Things go in cycles, and, it'll all come around.
I know, and then we have a different background, as you can see. We
Yes.
moved into the yarn room.
So yeah, we're in the front of my building, in like the actual yarn shop area. Thought maybe it would be more aesthetically pleasing and maybe a little less echoey. So yeah.
And all your pretties are down from the back room too. There's nothing on the walls.
Right. It's kind of bare in there because of Maker's Day. I really cleaned up the knitting room, and it's kind of stark right now. But
I was kind of surprised when I was here earlier this week. I was like, there's nothing on the walls.
I know. I really cleaned. Really put some things away, and people come and go, and I get to do one thing and then move on to the next thing, and there's a pile of stuff laying there. So yeah. So what I'm wearing. First off, I'm wearing this is the Turtle Dove 2. I'll kind of stand up. It's kind of a poncho-y sweater. This is not my yarn. I got this yarn at a store. It's woolly wool.
Yeah, really woolly.
Like it's a warm sweater. I love it. It's a tweed. I don't know if you can see. It's a gray kind of a tweed. But it's woolly wool. Like, it is not next to skin. I wear a turtleneck or, something underneath it. But I got this in Blossburg. There's a yarn store that's up towards like Coudersport, so north of us. Friend and I took a drive the one day and kind of did our own little yarn crawl. We went to Blossburg's store. There was a yarn shop in Coudersport, and I'm unclear whether it's still there or not. I know they had, I want to say, a flood in their building. It was Olga's Yarn Shop. And I'm not real sure if it even is still there. This was a few years ago. And I did the Turtle Dove, which is a pattern by Espace Tricot, free on Ravelry. I've made 2 of them. I love the shape. Like I think I said in the last podcast, I kind of like oversized boxy sweaters. I don't really like anything tight fitting. So what else I'm wearing? Bear with me here, people. I am wearing hand knitted socks with my clear Ugg boots. So anybody that is a sock knitter, they are kind of fun. They're clear boots and you can see your socks through them. So they're kind of fun. I would have shown you longer, but I can't hold my leg up that long. So you got a brief glimpse. You'll have to pause the screen if you want to see them. They have like Sherpa wool in the bottom, so they're kind of soft, but they are plasticky. I was telling Ashley, they're not the warmest boots. I was out helping fix the snowplow and my feet were a little cold, but I wore them to an event, a show I was doing, and it was muddy, so they're perfect for that. However, they fog up. Like once I was moving around and my feet got warm, they got kind of foggy in there. It's kind of funny. And then I'm also wearing, this is one of my FOs. I'm going to take it off and show you. It is kind of a Christmas fade. This is the Parkview hat. It's available on Ravelry, patterned by Tracy Miller, one of the grocery girls. Really fun. It's just kind of a, you do ribbing and then it's a kind of a different kind of ribbing up here. So it kind of cinches to your head. I think it fits pretty well. Yeah. And I held mohair with its Cascade Superwash Wave. I have a few skeins left in the shop. It's been kind of flying out the door this time of year, but.
Now, is this more like Marley part? That's just the yarn and then
it's just the yarn.
More green and then red.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just the yarn. So it's 2 skeins held together. I just held a white mohair just because I wanted the fluff with it, but it's real pretty. It's Christmassy without being too in
your face.
Yeah.
And she had this at the Chris Kringle Market.
Mm-hmm.
She barely had joined, and a day and a half later, she posted on Instagram that it was done.
Yeah, I had some knitting time Sunday. The Steelers were on, and we were home. So, yeah, I sat and knitted this during the Steelers game, and I finished it. I think probably Sunday night, maybe Sunday afternoon. And then my next FO is this guy. And I think it is, here, I'm just going to put it on because I think it's super cute.
It's super cute.
Yeah, it's a Christmas hat. I saw this, it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Apparently there's a new movie out, J.K. Simmons and Nick. But this is the free pattern, rustic red one. So it's a Santa hat, but it's Santa hat. I probably could have made it a bit longer, but it's okay. It's okay. It fits me. I made the JS size, JKS, which is the J.K. Simmons. He's the actor. So it was the size. This pattern is from the lady that knitted the hat for the movie. And so she made, there are other sizes, children up through adults, but I looked at his and I thought, no, that looks like about the size I want. Now, it is a free pattern. I thought the directions were a little confusing, not terrible, but when you get a free pattern, most of the time they're not tested. There's no tech editing. You kind of get what you get. So it's definitely doable. And so what if my, decreases don't look perfect? Nobody's going to know. Mm. But it was a cute pattern. I used deluxe worsted tweed in porcelain and garnet. And those are yarns that I stock all the time. So yeah, kind of cute.
It is.
And what are you wearing?
I am wearing my CC, or what do I call this? I think I have it from last
CC
time.
beanie, yeah.
It's like the CC beanie. This is in
Deluxe worsted tweed.
I think
porcelain.
So, yeah. It does look pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure it's the same.
I showed this I think last time. I've been wearing the crap out of this. After Christmas knitting is done, I'm making myself some hats, and I just got a new skein. I was very ill prepared today. I got my Yarnable of the month. That'll be in the Vlogmas that should release today on Thursday, and it is super fun. So I'm thinking I may make myself a hat with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be my Musselboro hat for after Christmas knitting is done.
Okay, next. Do you have any other
I do
FOs?
not have any FOs today.
Okay. I think I went through all mine.
Mhm.
Okay, so whips. What do you got?
So I am still chugging away at these socks. I had almost the entire ribbing done on my second one, and I lost all my stitches. And I tried to pick them up, and they were like dropping down too far, and I said, screw it, I'm just picking them back up from the beginning. So I picked them back up. I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I probably have maybe 5 or 8 more rounds. I already marked out where my heels and toes are gonna go. I love sock knitting. I love to keep it in a bag, but my only complaint with this is it's a little more awkward than a regular sock. If you're like trying to take it somewhere, or okay, great, I finished the cuff. Now I gotta pick up stitches for a heel. That's just not always the easiest to do on the go.
So I guess my advice would be do your toe first. Cut it. Do your toe, cut it.
Yeah.
And then you really only have like a sock
that
you're
much.
carrying around. Like
Yes.
if
And-
you know where it's going to go anyhow.
Yeah, and I thought of that because I thought about doing and cutting them, but these aren't for me. So I gotta like figure out what the size and the roller to see where they all are. So I think I would. I know it's like 35 stitches. I think I did for the for the leg, and then I think I marked it out with the roller, but I'm not 100% sure till I add the heel in to make
Right.
sure it's all the same.
Right.
So I would probably do that in the future once I got a little bit more comfortable with them. And then any leftovers are gonna go to a sock for Sam.
Okay. I am also working on a sock. This is a Christmas gift. Sorry, I'm just going to get the end of my row. I should have not picked it up, but anyhow, here we are. This is one of my sock tubes. I believe this yarn was Freckled Whimsy.
Super fun.
Yeah, I'm going to say Freckled Whimsy. So I did a contrast cuff. I did my heel in a gray. And I'm doing my toe in gray. And then I'll have the second one to do, and that will be a gift done. And I left the other part of the tube at home, but I will have leftover. So I might do a sock for Sam out of this. Whatever's left, I'll just make a sock, and then we can send that on up to him when we send our box.
Yeah.
So this is, just a 2x2 rib, cut in heel, and then you pick up the stitches and do the toe.
Now, for your toes, do you do like the knit one, slip, knit, and then the two together?
Yep. And same for my heel. So my heel is identical. I do I think I did 3 rounds of regular knit and then start the decreases. And they fit real well. I've worn some of these and it fits real well. It fits through so these are a gift. So, I hope they fit. I think they will. And I'm not going to say who I'm gifting them to. I don't think they watch, but who knows? Who knows? Okay.
Alright, so my flax sweater by Tin Can Knits.
Cute.
I have 2 arms. I tried it on. I'll show a picture of that here. My little Mickey was where I was, or Minnie was where I was last podcast, so I worked a good bit. I was like killing myself going to make the sleeves even with the body and even with the arms, and then I decided I wanted more red, so I just probably an inch maybe earlier I started the fade, but there'll be more red on the bottom, and that's about the only difference.
Yeah.
And you're not really going to notice much.
Once he has it on,
No, and
you're not going to be
actually-
measuring his arms against,
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think that'll be nice.
Because I had him try it on. So, see if you can see it there.
Oh, yeah, you're almost there.
Oh yeah, so I think
You're
it'll be
almost
good.
there.
So yeah.
Very good.
I think I'm gonna do a sewn bind off for the ending. I just left a whole bunch of yarn because I wanted to see if I needed to make it any longer. It probably more just look wise. I think I would have liked a little bit more long rib, but I think it's just because it's little. So I think for him it'll be actually fine.
Yeah. Well, you don't want it down over his wrist because then it'll get really messy.
Yeah, then I'll get ruined.
5-year-old, messes.
So this is the Tin Can Knits flax worsted, using the Cascade 220 Superwash Merino. I believe this is Christmas red, and I don't know that they have, I think they're just numbers.
They are numbers.
And this is 82.
I want to say that's heathered
gray or something.
heathered gray, heathered black, something along that line. On the computer it does tell me names, but
this is ball 3.
It's not bad.
No. So I got the whole body and I think I did the whole body, and then I did on one ball, and then the arms, and then I got some. I just added in right before the striping, I believe, is when I had to add in. So it says it was going to take about 600 yards, I think it was.
That's about right, because I think they're 220 each.
Yes. And I knew I needed 4, and then I lost one, and then I found it today, which I knew would happen.
Of course.
Yes.
And just one ball of the red.
And just one of the red.
Yep.
And I had lots left, so that's why I wanted also to add in early, because really after my striping, I only got like 3 rows on the arms before I went into the ribbing, so I wanted a little bit more.
Okay. All right. So knitting plans. I have so many. I was saying to Ashley earlier that it seems like the more I want to get done, the less I get done. Like I kind of get stalled or end up wasting time. I don't know how my brain works, that I think if there's too much going on in there, it just kind of freezes.
I don't know how people knit on one project and that is all they have on their needles. Like, it's been killing me just to do these 2 things. I actually ripped out and restarted a scrappy cardigan to a different pattern because I was like, I just don't want to knit on that anymore, and I don't want to start anything else. So
you're still kind of finishing something, but
now
but now it's new.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a whole basket full of ideas here. So do you want to talk about your advent, because I have some major FOMO?
Yes.
So this is kind of acquisitions and and Ashley's also doing Vlogmas.
Yes.
So I'm not. That is not something I can even think about at this moment. I have. But Ashley's doing it. Please go view it. I've watched the 2 episodes.
I have 2 up. I may combine the last 2 days because I really didn't do much.
Okay.
I probably only had maybe 5 or 8 minutes of video, so I'm probably going to combine them. But I had got the Fangirl Fibers Advent. The last, at least this year and last year, it was a Disney themed, and that's actually how I found it. I think it was the Wandering Pearl was talking about it, and it was a Disney themed, and then I'm like, oh, and I started looking, and this one's Beauty and the Beast. And I know I have videos on Vlogmas. I've been kind of opening them up, but this is probably the best video or picture I have of them. This box, the time that has went in, it's kind of hard to see it. Maybe cancel out our faces, but these bags, like the rose is on one side, Beauty and the Beast is on the other side.
They're beautiful.
This was day 1. So
I wonder where she gets something like that.
I don't know. They had awesome charms. There's charms in it. I got a little pair of snips, a full skein for the 25th. So far, I think it's going to be kind of like a fade or like a gradient. Like,
is there a pattern that coordinates with it or no?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
But there is so it was like kind of a variegated, like speckled one day, and then more of a tonal, and then it was another variegated, and then a tonal. So I'm excited to see what today is going to have.
Are you going to start knitting it before you open them all?
No.
No, okay.
No, because I want to see it all. But
right, I agree. I think that's what I would need to do too. I'm
thinking it's going to be a blanket.
Okay.
Just because they're really pretty, and I think they are going to fade nicely, but I wanted... The Radvent sweater is another one on my list. It is knit from like sleeve over to sleeve. And I think the Wandering Pearl I also saw did one of those with it. Okay. I think that's what she did with
So it's a sideways knit, so your knit stitches actually go this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did a sweater like that.
Yeah, so you start at the sleeve and then would get bigger and then get smaller again.
Yeah, I did one like that. Now my only caution is you can't make it longer.
Yeah.
Because when you're knitting across, you know, there's no adding length unless you go back and put like a ribbing around the bottom or something. But, you know, there's always a fix
to something. Yeah. So that was one. I've been watching a lot of like Advent pattern ideas. But I
have a bunch saved too, and I have one today. Maybe, yeah.
And yeah, I'm very much loving this Advent. It's been super fun. I've been kind of watching. I just saw that.
I know. So I'm having major FOMO
Yes.
with your
Yeah,
Advent. I didn't get one this year. I have in the past, and I don't know. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I don't know.
This was my first one, and I definitely will be getting more. I've been seeing a bunch. The Polka Dot Creek one looks super fun.
I did that one last year.
Just because you get all the different Canadian dyers, which there are so many good Canadian dyers out there. It's crazy. So that's another, kind of another thing.
The one I really wish I would have gotten this year was Chelsea Yarns. She's down in New Jersey, and it was cowboy themed.
Ooh.
But it's really like cowgirl themed. It's really pinks, and I wish I would have got it, but I didn't. It's okay.
I've been following Brianna with the Little Wolf Knits, and she just announced she does different collections, and usually it's like a whole year of something. So I think this ending year was How I Met Your Mother. She's done like a Schitt's Creek one, then she'll do a lot of videos. Well, this one is going to be the series of Unfortunate Event books.
Oh.
And those, I loved those when I was younger, and that really got me into reading. So she's doing that as her club for next year.
Fun.
So I am definitely jumping on board.
Yeah. I am really going to de-stash this year. I really am. I'm not buying. I'm just, other than, what I have here in the shop and what I knit for samples, but I have a ton of yarn at home.
I just went through all my yarn, and I have a 2x8 cubes, and they're not like the regular cubes. They're like the probably 13 by 13 cubes. And I just went through, I have an entire one full of fingering with like a handful of DK, and then I have a whole one of worsted or chunky weight. And
I have a room full of yarn at home.
Yeah.
I do. Now, some of it I'm never going to use. I once, I think during COVID, I moved my craft room from the basement to one of my kids', empty bedrooms. Kids moved out, and I had never really converted their bedrooms. So I took all their remaining stuff that they left me out, and I made a craft room for myself up, on the second floor. So I have a dedicated craft room now, and it's, I need to use what I bought. I still like it, but I see the new shiny thing, and I'm like, ooh, look.
I think other than that, I'm going to really cut back. I may still do Yarnable. I cheat, though, and look at my Yarnable to see what is coming and if I like it or not, just because I'm like, I don't need a whole bunch of single skeins of things. But if I really like it,
and that's what I have, is all these single skeins and minis. I was on a mini kick there for a while. So that leads me to, I had FOMO because she's getting this cute little Advent. I have had this pattern printed for a while, as you can see. It's all curly. I've been carrying it around. It is called Little Leftovers. It's kind of a bandana cowl. Each section is like a different pattern. I went through and looked. I think there's 25 different sections. Yes. So this morning, I was home a little bit this morning before the plow truck broke down. So I kind of pulled out some of my stash. I know. Like, how pretty are these? Yeah. So these are squishy minis. There's 90 yards per skein. This is by Macmillan Fiber Co. Got it at a show. I'm not 100% sure what weight it is. I assume fingering, but the packaging doesn't really say. Do you see?
No.
The gauge is 7 to 8 stitches, size 1 to 3 needles. So to me, that says fingering.
Oh,
and then
like Harry Potter. It's Defense Against the Dark.
Yeah.
So it's like Harry Potter. That's cute.
Yeah, I love. And then this was another one I picked up somewhere. I have no idea where. This is Hue Loco. There are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minis in this one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 in this one. So I could do my own Advent. Like, I could kind of go, I think I would probably reorder them and go like light to dark.
Yeah.
And
Because
then
these are definitely a lot kind of darker, but
I have these little fun guys. This was from Polka Dot Creek. They have a podcast. They are a yarn dyer, yarn store they have 2 stores in Canada, Airdrie, and there's another, Cochrane.
yes.
So they just opened another little shop in Cochrane. But I have these cute little guys. Some of them are sparkle. There's 2 sparkle. There's a tonal. So I could throw those in. Then I have this little random guy laying around.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think I could do my own advent. So what I'm thinking is, I should be knitting on Christmas gifts, but I may start this and like do 1 section a day and just to, clear up my phone and get rid of some yarn.
Yeah.
And then I had this other crazy idea. So I went through, one of my yarn reps used to bring me all these minis as like the samples, and then she would give them to me. Like I had these like round metal things full of minis. So one day I decided to combine them into like kind of a magic knot ball and I already made one. I'll have to bring it next time. I have a granny square blanket on the back of my couch that I did with brighter, darker colors.
Yeah.
So I kind of put them into colors, and these aren't all even the same weight. They're not the same yarns.
That's what I'm doing with my scrappy cardigan. I'll have to bring it next. Now that it's not just a giant square, I started a new one and it almost has more of a yoke to it. But I'm holding 2 to 3 yarns of whatever in little scraps of things, or I frogged something, I did something, and it's all different weights.
So I actually thought about maybe trying to make that scarf and just use this. And when it changes, it changes. But I honestly think I'm going to do the minis.
Yeah, I think you would be happier with that
I think so too.
Because you have some thicker stuff in there too.
I do. Like down towards the middle, it gets a little thicker.
I would worry almost that
The gauge gets off and it would ruffle or look weird.
Yeah.
The other thing I brought today, we've talked about it. I think you have one started. It's the Cozy Memories, the Coziest Memories, and it's a little mitered square. It's a blanket. I started this years ago, and this is one of my goals this year, is to do some work on it. So what you do is, like, this was my first square, and then you pick up and do another one, and like this one, I was using scraps. I ran out, so I just added in another color, and so I have my next block on the needles here. It's going to be like a brown. So I have this entire basket of like my sock scraps. So my goal, my well-laid plans was every time I finished a sock, I would do 1 square. Finish a sock, and it is not going to match. It is going to be a crazy, scrappy, which is a little hard for me. It's a little hard to not plan and just kind of go with it. But, when it's a blanket, I think the overall, so I'm thinking this is 6 squares wide right now. I may go like 20.
Yeah, I would say at least.
I'll see where I get, but I'm going to keep going on this first row, get like 20 squares, and then you would start like the neck, attach like here and do your next square and come back across, I believe. Because you'll like pick up stitches here,
Yeah.
do your little square.
So the one I'm doing, it's similar. It's not the Coziest Memory pattern, but there's about 100 patterns out there. They're all mitered squares.
Right.
And the instructions were to do the corner, and then you would do like this block, and then this block, and then then the center, and then you have one big square. Yeah, one big square. So I kind of went all around. I also wasn't sure about picking up stitches and adding the stitches, because you'll pick up half the stitches and then you have to also cast on half the number. So I was trying to play around with that, so I kind of understood that. But I love the idea of the scrappy blankets, because you can look at it and you're like, oh, I made this for, this is, the grandkids socks or things like that.
Yeah, and that was kind of my plan, well,
Yeah.
it got put upstairs in my craft room, and when I was going through this morning looking for minis, which I knew where they were, I had them in the closet in a section, and I saw that and I thought, okay, next year I'm really going to get back to doing even one block a week. Like if I did one block a week, I'd add 52 blocks next year.
And it really doesn't take that long. I know yours are a little bigger than mine, but I can probably get mine done in half an hour, 45 minutes easily.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So those are some of my, knitting plans. I have a few other gifts. I don't know if I'll get them done. I don't know. I'm going to do my best. My goal is to have socks for every member of my family, which that's probably doable. Doing the tubes. If I were knitting the entire sock, absolutely not. But I have the tubes cranked. I just need to buckle down and finish socks, and then as my treat, I may do this.
Do you have a smaller tube? Like, how small does your...
So my machine has 3 different cylinders. A 60, a 64, and a 72.
Okay.
So for for a woman's size sock, I do 64. For the men, I crank some 72 tubes. And they're going to take a little bit longer to knit just because there's more stitches.
Yeah.
But, it won't be that big of a deal. So this one was on my 64. And what I do is when I crank the tube, then on the label I write how many stitches, because I won't remember.
Yeah.
And then I just put it back in the, the label or the sleeve. I could go around and count, but why do that?
Yeah. Let me get this so I
You're
don't
fine.
lose my marker. My next, so these are Christmas gifts, and my hopeful one is going to be the Slip Away Cow. It's by Kay Litton, who is the Crazy Sock Lady. It's just it is color work, but it is mosaic color work. So they're not catching floats, not having to do that.
You're just slipping stitches?
Just slipping stitches, and then the lace work is yarn overs. So I think this will be my next. This will be doable, possibly, depending on when I finish this. It's gonna be 9 inches long, so that shouldn't be too terrible. I mean, that's not much more than a hat. And then I'm also hoping to get a muscle burrow done if my yarn ever gets here.
Okay.
It's in DHL Neverland.
Oh, did you order it from Canada?
No, I ordered it from Knit Picks.
Oh.
And they were shipping the DHL, and I feel like I never have good luck with them.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my, whenever it comes DHL, it's usually from Canada.
Yeah. I think their Canadian Post is still having issues.
Oh, yeah. I watched some podcasts, some Canadian podcasts, and they're not real happy with the Canadian Post.
Yeah.
But
it's a rough time that to happen too.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have lots of, we were kind of off camera talking about our knitting plans, but maybe we'll talk about that. We should be able to get one more podcast in before Christmas, like the 19th.
Yes.
And then Christmas is on a Wednesday. And then New Year's would be on Thursday. So it might be, we might get one more, and then we'll see what your schedule's like.
Yeah.
But
So,
we'll figure out a day and time to get together and do one, maybe between the holidays.
yeah. And I may also go, because we're talking about our So Selfish knit along. So that we're gonna do a Christmas Eve start. You can, it's like a loosey-goosey.
Maybe like Christmas Eve day, we'll get together and do a short video.
Maybe, because I'm working Christmas Eve.
Okay.
So I'll
Maybe
see.
not. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'll have to
We'll
look and
see. Maybe the day before or something.
Yeah,
we could sit in video and then not post it until
Yeah, that would be
something
cool.
like that.
So, and we just looked, the hashtag SSK2025 is available. There was only one post and it was not in English, so I think we're good with that. So that is going to be our hashtag to use on Instagram, and I'm just we'll random number generate or randomly scroll and pick on one for a winner for that. And then I'm going to also do a description video too of how to use a Google Doc. And I'm going to do a Google Doc of finished objects for another prize. So
that's where we'll get our 2 prizes from. One will be the Instagram hashtag, and one will be from the Google Doc.
Yep. And then we will just kind of hopefully go from there. If there's any makers or anyone who would like to donate any other prizes, we'll gladly take them. I was thinking, you had some yarn set back.
I do. I have an idea of what I'm doing. I have some Delaque snap bags coming in.
Good. That was another thing I thought about. Or
yeah.
even a pattern.
Which this is a Delaque snap bag. Don't mind my mess because I don't know if I can get it all loose, but it's just a little like mesh pouch. This one says support your local yarn shop, and then you can actually snap it and then like pull your yarn through. And it's a nice little size. Now my one complaint is there's no handle.
Yes.
I wish there were even just a wrist.
Do the larger ones?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
There is a zipper pouch on the front, but my one complaint, which I think they picture this going into a larger project bag. But you know, when I'm knitting socks, I can just grab this and take it home, and I just wish there were even just a wrist strap, just
and
something.
I don't think there's not a like a D-ring or anything you can put one on.
No.
I have, in the one I have currently, which had my PA shawl in it, I think I have 3 full skeins, a mini skein, and the project in there, and it's a like 100+ stitch long project. So I mean, they fit a lot, and I love the little zip pouch on the front because you can put things in it and they don't fall out.
Yeah, I mean, I have my, my contrast yarn that I'm using for my sock. I have my twice shear sheep. Say that 10 times. That's my little sock ruler, the one that has the shoe size and the standard measurements on the other side, and then it just it's kind of
like
a
slap
slap.
bracelet.
And then I have my little, one of my little tool bags. Has my stitch markers. It has my little scissors and needles. So yeah. So I mean, you can fit an ample project in it.
I would even guess a decent sized shawl would probably fit
Probably.
in there. Like at least a 1 skein shawl for sure.
Yep. I bet you could get a 2 skein.
Probably. I mean, especially with what mine has in it right now, because it has 3 skeins.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be a prize.
And if for any reason we would get any like Canadian or like anywhere that shipping would be difficult, a pattern, like pick a pattern, $10, $15 or less, and we could also gift that too, because I know that can be an issue with international shipping. So hopefully someday we have people watching from other parts.
So. I hope so. I mean, if you like us, subscribe. If you'd be willing to, it'd be great if you would share it, on your social media, and then other people, all your friends would see it. So that would be really helpful. I mean, we're not really looking to,
be
huge, but it's fun. It's just fun to meet people and,
And it's neat too to see the interaction with everyone.
Yeah. Leave comments. We'll comment back. And if you have questions or, anything like that, we'd be glad to answer. Yeah. Reach out to us on social media. I'm Lisa So Crafty on Facebook and Instagram.
And I am caffeine_and_yarn. I need to figure out if I can fix that or not on my Instagram and Ravelry. So I haven't figured out the Ravelry group. I know a lot of people have Ravelry groups, but
I don't feel like it's super user friendly. No. But I'm also doing it most of the time from my phone.
Yes, that's my biggest complaint of Ravelry is there's not a mobile app.
There is.
Is it like it's?
But it's still not. It's called Ravit, Ravit. I have it on my phone. I use it. You still can't really interact with forums or discussion groups from your phone.
Yeah, it's all over, and I feel like it skips all over.
It's not user friendly, but I could do it on my laptop or my desktop computer, but I'm rarely there. So phone it is. Yeah. So. Well, I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. I hope you're creating and finishing up lots of projects.
Yes. And then get all your gift knitting done so we can join us in our Selfish Cow from Christmas Eve on through the rest of March and see what we all can make.
Oh, I have some ideas.
I know, I do too. I'm hoping I can finish more than one.
Well, I'm hoping to get all my, gift knitting done so I don't have to scooch any of it over into the new year.
Yeah, me too.
I have one secret surprise. I know my mom watches. Hi, Mom. Love you. So I have something I'm planning on making for her, and if not, she's a knitter. She's an avid knitter, so she may be getting a little package for Christmas, a DIY package. We'll see. I've done that before. Like,
here you go,
I
make it
really
yourself.
wanted to make this for you, but I know you'll like it, so just make it yourself. I ran out of time, so we'll see. We'll see. I have big plans.
Yes, we'll see.
All right, well, stay warm if you guys are somewhere where it's cold, because it's pretty windy and bitter here.
Yes, it is.
And happy crafting.
Yes.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.